their whole plan that they're gonna have to fix up
Old
the
for
road.
me, I grew up here, but it's,
Larger
rather
area for it.
So that you won't have it for your first.
Supposedly, they're gonna start next week, which is about a year later.
Yeah.
Because you're not meeting on the fifth,
No other
right?
kids.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
They have to go.
So you'll meet on the
Yeah.
fifth.
Yeah.
Or you can skip and go to the
Yeah.
19th.
Did you guys get that last week?
But you don't say
Yeah, but still.
We may have to have some checks.
no. Smell too.
This is great.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just frustrating. This- The amount of people are
Yeah,
noticed.
Oh, yeah.
We get,
Printed on the wrong.
I tried to raise the Lifer Road today.
I ordered for next year already.
Just when I thought that, I wasn't even there, and the road was just flying. People going in the ditch. People just driving up to you and stopping.
So we have to reissue
Yeah,
like
get
the.
the little.
I would prefer to
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Please
They
join
did on
Ed
Red
and
Drive when they were cutting the trees.
Flag.
Yeah.
That wolf girl was in detail.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, that's like $400.
What happened? I have to do something.
Okay, any public input? Okay.
Oh, there's someone.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I thought I was on the agenda. I'm just here for the event that I turned in for the 26th. I didn't write it down for outdoor alcohol, but I did turn in a permit of assembly for outside and the roped off area that outdoor seating would be in, or outdoor just drinks in general, because that's where the kids' stations will be as well. We just want parents to be able to walk outside with their drinks. And I was just wondering if I could get a selectman sign letter for that.
I indicated when I talked to you that we were not going to include outside alcohol. When I told you on the phone, we approved the permit. Nothing's changed.
Oh, you just said it wasn't because I put it on the application. I didn't know
Well,
if I could.
what I said was if you want to go to the details, I said, put everything on the application you want us to consider. We look at the application, there was no mention of outside alcohol. So that's what we approved, no outside alcohol.
Mhm.
That's what I explained to you. You didn't include it on the application.
Okay, can I resubmit an application with that on it?
It's done. No outside alcohol.
So if I was to include it on the application, would it have been considered?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear
If
you.
I included it on the application, would it have been considered?
Would have been considered, of course.
Okay, so I can't reapply for the same thing on the 26th? Or I can modify it and email it over to you and have it in my.
We're going to meet again at the end of the month. Molly,
I'm not trying to be difficult, it is what I mentioned in the last meeting. I came and said the same exact thing at the last
I
meeting.
mentioned it very clearly to you. Put it in writing on the application. You didn't do that.
That's what the permit of assembly and the sketch was.
It didn't say on your... Look, we made a ruling. That's what we decided. Yes, Steve?
I have a couple questions,
Yes, sir.
just for clarification. We received a cease order
Yes.
from the Board of Selectmen.
Yes,
As the enforcing entity in town,
that's correct.
was that something that was voted on by
Yes.
the entire board?
Yes, in a non-public meeting documented.
Okay. My question is, why wasn't it signed by all the board members?
Doesn't have to be.
May it not have to be.
Doesn't have to be.
Was this done in a private meeting?
A non-public meeting.
A non-public meeting? Okay. Just for clarification, I'm having a little trouble wrapping my head around the process here, and sometimes I'm a little bit slow. But we still haven't, we don't really understand the difference between permitted use in the recreational area and conditional use.
That was discussed last evening at the planning board. I suggest you ask them for a clarification. Okay? We took what was going on there, we took all the documentation, sent it to our attorney because we didn't understand what was going on there. And her It's an illegal operation until you get a site plan review. That's the call.
And she understands that a site plan review is required for conditional uses,
Yes, she does.
but not permitted uses.
She understands our zoning very clearly.
Does she understand the difference between the
I'm sure
two?
she does. You have to ask her.
Well, you guys already asked her when you sent the letter, correct?
She helped us with the letter, yes.
So what was your understanding, the difference between the two?
I would recommend you talk to your attorney then, or talk to our attorney. We're not going to get into that contest now. Anything
Okay.
else?
Would the board consider rescinding the letter
What
while
was
we have time to?
what was discussed last evening as a reminder? This coming Monday, the planning board is meeting again to accept the full application. And at that point, if we have a good faith effort on behalf of Molly, I think the board will consider it. But we've been down this path, the planning board has been down this path 3 times. We're going to do a site plan review, and it never happens. So Monday night, bring the full application to the planning board, and we'll make a judgment.
Okay. If we change from one permitted use to another permitted use, will we still have to do a site plan?
I can't answer that. I'm sorry. You write down what you want to do, and we'll get legal advice. I can't answer that question.
I would assume that the board should be able to answer these questions to give our community some guidance. I don't understand why nobody understands what's going on, but we have to suffer for it. Our business has to be shut down for it. I just don't get it. The boards are supposed to help educate the community as to how to go about the system and the rules of procedure.
The planning board has asked over and over to do a site plan review, and it hasn't taken place. What more can we do?
Well, our position is that we shouldn't have to do this if it's a permitted use.
Then wait till November 1st. I mean, we're not making you do a site plan review.
Well, you are.
No, we're not.
You've given us a cease order.
Yes, we
I'm
have.
not sure exactly what that means. It's not a cease and desist. It doesn't seem like it's a legal order, because that has to come from the courts. That we're not quite sure what to do, but we're being forced.
Did you read the letter?
I read the letter.
What happens November 1st? If you don't stop, we go to Superior Court. It says there right in the letter.
Okay, but it's not a court order. It's not done properly. A cease and desist order is just that. A cease order is not a cease and desist order.
Wait till November 1st.
Okay, so you guys want to go to court over that. Is that what you're telling me?
We gave you a letter.
Okay.
We're waiting for Monday to see if we get a site plan review application. Again. Well, what can we do? For months.
You
we've
could
been
work
saying-
with us.
For months we've been saying this.
No, for 7 months you've been saying this.
You raised the issue of we can't identify the butters. I told you that's been resolved.
That was a completely different matter.
That it was a site plan review, and one of the impediments to you doing a site plan review is you couldn't identify all the butters.
Because you didn't have all the abutters, which you're required by law to have.
And I told you it's been resolved, but nothing happened.
Oh, but that wasn't until 4 months after our event. It's gone. It makes no sense to apply for it if the people that were gonna come aren't gonna come now. It was a 4-month delay. That's beyond us at this point. I'm just worried about going forward here. Our position is you got a set of allowed uses, and then you had a conditional use. It's 2 different things. Conditional use, yes, site plan.
Last night you agreed, we think, to do a site plan review with all the documentation being provided this coming Monday. We're waiting for this coming Monday to see if you follow through on it. That's what you agreed to do, I think.
Well, I didn't really agree to it.
Well-
Molly has agreed to do that, and I have to stand behind her. I just want some questions answered as to exactly why. But still, nobody after this much time can answer that question. You don't know the difference between conditional and permitted uses. So we have to do a site plan.
Our site plan regulations say if you change the function If you change the use, a site plan review is required.
Okay, but we're not changing it.
We believe you are. We believe you are. It was never a full-service restaurant. We're done. Next topic? Anybody else?
Before we're going on public, we get the forest here.
Hey, hello, Tim.
I had spoken with Ed and I brought all of the all of the paperwork from the timber sale. I had been holding all the timber payments and just texting Ed what had come in each week, waiting until the end when we got the big bill for the all of the access work. I finally got that, so I brought in all of the payments and mill slips, a summary of each payment, and then the check for the residual amount. There is still a single load that went out the last day up to the red mill of mixed hemlock logs and mat logs. It'll probably be 2 weeks that'll come in. It's a partial cleanup load, a few $100s, but when it comes in, we will, I will get the report of wood cut signed, calculate the extra timber tax that's owed. There'll be a check that will come from the logger for that extra amount with the report of wood cut. But for now, here is everything. There are a total of 7 separate timber payments starting on the 7th of September and then weekly. One of them is not an actual payment. It's yesterday's, which is just the invoice for all of the road work and the access work. They ended up developing 41 loads of material on site that they managed to pull out of the 2 landing areas and put into the roads. So that worked really well. Initially we bought 2 loads of processed gravel for out by the town road, and I bought 3 culverts. The deduction for them is in the first payment. It's itemized and the slips are in there from the places that I bought the culverts and gravel. And then on payment 6, the one with Taylor's invoice, that is in there attached to 6. So here is the summary for each of the week's payments, a summary of the deductions that came out of it, and then a check for, as it stands right now, $57.24.
And we have to not play that game, but we have to work the timber tax, given that we own the property.
Yeah, when you signed the intent to cut, because the logger is responsible for the timber tax, he posted a bond
Yes, he did.
for the estimated amount. I think it was $1,400.
It was 1,000. But that's all right.
Well, whatever it is.
Yep.
Whatever, I've got it in here because I calculated it. But anyway, so when we do the report of wood cut, we'll have the, the actual numbers. It was $1,469.65. And the total timber tax, as it stands today, without that last load, would be $2,157.64. So it'll be a little bit more than that. So whatever the difference is between those 2 figures, when the report of wood cut gets submitted, the check for that amount will be submitted as well.
Thank you.
No problem. I think the job went well. I think
Looks
the road
good.
work went
Looks
really
good.
well. We were able to continue past the field all the way down across the last of the wet ground to where there is another spot for a log landing going forward. If we have a good dry summer next summer and the markets are decent, you could finish off that lower section without having to do any more additional road work.
Good. Looks good. I was down there. Looked great.
The edge of the hayfield got cut back.
Yep.
Alan looked like he had that pretty well ready to seed the last
It is
time I
seeded.
was down there.
You guys see it?
And we managed to do all that cutting work around the cellar hole. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how everything came out. So,
Good. Thank you.
We are as well.
good.
Okay, so you'll just submit the report of cut, or the logger will?
Yep, I'll fill everything out. He'll sign it. I will submit a timber tax summary sheet along with it, and the check will come in. Like I said, I'm guessing based on the mill that wood went to and how long they typically take to pay, I'm guessing 2 weeks before we'll see it. But it's a partial cleanup load. It's not for much.
Okay, good.
All right?
Thank you. And you gave us a check?
Yep.
We will give to the treasurer right now.
What would I say?
All right. Have a good evening, all.
Thank you.
Good night.
What would I say?
This is sale of town property.
I don't need all of this, right? Do I need all of these papers?
Okay, you know what, we'll give them
Yeah, well,
to Chris for what?
the,
I'll just
The longer.
check it, yes, no.
Okay, any other public input?
yeah,
Only a binder flip. It's okay, I'll.
Okay, then we're gonna start going around the room. Karen, you have anything?
Not really. I attended the New Hampshire City and Town Clerks Association conference last week, and we got a lot of great information to continue to tighten up things for the election with the expected increase in the volume, just securing the integrity of our election, and I've been conferring with Jim and Jan just to make sure that we have everything in place. And got a lot of great information otherwise about motor vehicles and just general town clerk work, so it was very beneficial. Thank
Good,
you
good.
for supporting me.
Jan, do you have anything for us?
I do, two things. On the election, here is the volunteer plan to date. We have select board coverage. There you go.
Thank you.
We have 3 categories for greeters, and we've got those positions filled. We have 10 teams of 2 for ballot counters, and I have just one more position to fill within the ballot counters. So I think we look really good as of today. If anything changes on your schedules, let me know that in case I need to fill in. But otherwise, I think, 21 days out, we're looking pretty solid.
Good, thank you.
Great. The second thing is a quick update on the library. We met with Rich on Friday, so we have submitted the budget for 2025. I am meeting with Amy on Wednesday to work through tech-related programs for some of your suggestions, Rich. And also we're working on a grant. There is a art reception on Saturday from 10 to 12 to showcase Martina Sear artwork with refreshments. And there was coverage about Martina in the Granite State News. For anyone who wants to see, I'll leave it on the resource table. There are a bunch of events coming up that are in the newsletter, team-related, Halloween-related, so people can look at that. And Leah has figured out a way, I think she's going to address that later, how to get that all on the website and then out as an e-blast to people. And the last thing is there's a fundraiser going on right now for holiday wreaths at the Gaffney, and the wreaths are $30 each. Last year, I ran it past Mary Lou and purchased one for the townhouse and one for the offices here and donated them. But my question to you, I realize I probably should have run it past you last year as well. Would you like wreaths on both buildings? And can I purchase that? It's $30 each. And if you don't want it, that's fine. If you want to do something else.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay, great, we'll do that. And that's everything, thank you.
okay, thank you. Yes, Karen, go
Can
ahead.
we jump back to me? The elections, just to remind people, absentee ballots. If people want to do an absentee ballot, they can get the form on the town clerk's page and just really get them in as soon as possible, their requests, so I can get the ballots, we can do the turnaround time. They're hand delivered, they have to be in my hands by the day before at 5 o'clock. But we'll check the mail until 5 o'clock on election day if they're mailed in. And then the other thing is the supervisors of the checklist are meeting on the 22nd, and that's your last chance to register to vote before the election day. So just a reminder to everybody.
Okay. Chris?
Yeah, just before the meeting, I gave you a contract to sign for some paving. There's a minute chance it gets done this fall. It's probably a really small chance, but it could still happen. If not, like we spoke about at the last meeting, we'll help encumber that money for next year, and where it's already signed, hopefully they can get to it immediately in the spring, so. That's for Holly Lane and Roberts Road.
So we've got a contract in front of us for $53,530 for Holly Lane and Roberts Road.
Can you give me the total one more time?
Yes, 53530.
Thank you.
And so I'll make a motion, we'll do this now, I'm going to do it later, I'll make a motion that we authorize the expenditure of this money.
You did that one section.
I'll second that motion.
I'm waiting for this, I'm just waiting. You in favor, all in favor?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to sign this contract, we're going to have to encumber it if we don't get it done. It's for 53, do you want it signed and back, Chris, is that what you
Yeah.
want to do this?
Yep.
All right, I'll do that.
I'll send it back, I'll email it back to them tonight, and that way, if it's a fairly small project for them, so, you know, if they have a day here or there, they can come and do it, so it's just good to get it back to them as soon as possible.
Okay, so what we'll do is, we'll sign later,
Yep.
get you a copy, so if we don't spend the money, we can encumber it.
What was the contractor's name again? I didn't hear.
Allstate Construction. Okay, anything else, Chris?
Nope.
And, okay, Joanne?
Just waiting on the county to submit their financials so that we can finish with our MS 434 and get the tax rate set.
Okay.
So we're just waiting on the county.
Okay. And you're telling me I skipped the meeting minutes? Okay. We have meeting minutes from October 1st.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented. I read through them, we had no issues with them.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Brian, let's start. Thank you, Ed. You want to talk about the Conservation Commission?
Yeah, we had a work party on Sunday. It was well attended. We had 8 to 10 volunteers there working on cleaning the growth around the cellar hole, and it went extremely well. We got done in that one day what we had expected to get done over the next 3 weekends. That was that good of a turnout. So now we're going to move into the cemetery area and do a cleanup around the cemetery as well.
Up in Hackett
Up in the Hackett Cemetery, correct. So that's our plan going forward, and there'll be another meeting. We don't meet again until the 1st of November.
Okay. That's for you to sign. And at the planning board last night, we had a lot line adjustment that was approved off of Tumbledown Lake Road, Cotadero, moved the lot line, picked up a new lot of 10 acres, 10.5 acres. It's down by the house down the low spot by the caboose. It's on the red house side, but that's where the new lot is. That's for you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're ready to move on to, we'll do budget later.
I have a little bit.
Oh, I am sorry, Leah.
Fine, don't see me.
Go ahead, what do you have?
So the newsletter, obviously, it's not in front of you tonight. Had it 90% done and then forgot to put one article in it, so I need to do that. Jan and I noticed, though, that when I post things to the newsletter site, nobody's getting the normal e-blast that they usually get when things are posted to the town site. So I did some investigating and figured out why. So the introduction to the newsletter, since I want this to be an online-only one,
is going to explain how to sign up for the e-blast for it, because everyone will have to go back in and resubscribe. I've now added it to the e-blast list. You do have to subscribe to do it. So what I'm gonna do though, when I post this one, is post it normally to the newsletter site, but put it out as a news item too, so everybody will get it. And then when they click on the link in the news item, they can read the newsletter and see that, okay, I need to actually sign up for this to get e-blasted. So everything I've been posting there for the past year and a half, 2 years, nobody's gotten it.
So when this happens then, and they go through the e-blast link to do that site, it will create the link going forward?
Yes, so you're gonna have to go through everything you did to subscribe to any other town thing. You're gonna have to do it again to sign up for the newsletter. I put one thing under the news and announcements, and the main newsletter will be e-blasted through, I think it's free-form documents in the whole list of the subscriptions. So a problem I didn't know was happening is now fixed, so now I just gotta get the word out about that. Thank you, Jan, for pointing that out.
I have a question.
Yes.
I think on the 7th, we're going to .gov.
Hmm?
Do we have to re-sign up for the board for everything? You might want to ask those folks.
Okay, I don't think so, but I will make a note to ask. And I asked John Rich about backing up the desktops again, and each hard drive will automatically back up.
The complete system,
Yes,
no matter where it is, C
will
drive.
automatically back up to the server.
Good, that's what we wanted.
Okay.
And I think we authorized that.
Yep.
So we're going to go forward with that.
Okay, I
That's
think
it?
that's everything. I guess I'm gonna start using the whiteboard in my office to write down all the things that go on the town calendar, so that people in the office at a glance through my window can see what's coming up. I talked to you about this a little bit.
It's okay.
I was gonna draw it as a calendar, and then
Okay,
it was
but-
gonna be too small to read, and
We have to have one controlling site. I thought that was the website, right?
it is, I'm taking that off of the website. I'm not putting anything there that's not on the website.
Okay.
I'm making sure that,
Okay. Love redundant data that's not redundant. All right. I saw a blurb someplace that Molly, you wanted to be on the agenda. Did you have something else to say this evening?
No, it was just the Selectmen sign letter. And if I was to do that for banquet facility activities, which Bob Boudreau had, would I have to file the same application that I used this time, or is there a different way you want me to go about this rather than just asking at a meeting?
We're going to rework that special event permit. I think the one we have could be improved upon.
The one I handed in for Halloween, or?
No.
For Bob.
Going, I'm sorry.
the general form.
Oh, okay.
The general form, we're
Yeah.
going to try to streamline that.
Yeah.
I think we can do better on that form.
Yeah, because previously in meetings, I've been told that we have a special event permit for Moose Mountain, but I haven't been able to find that, and no one's been able to tell me where it is. Yeah, so.
In the past,
Meetings, I've been told that if I was having a one-day event, there would be a special event permit.
yes,
Right,
for that event.
right. Do you have one of those, or is that the temporary event
Oh,
form that I
okay.
filled
I
out?
understand what you're asking. We're going to rework that. We're going to rework that form. It's going to be,
The temporary event form?
we have one form that we're calling two different things.
Okay,
We're going to have one form, temporary, and we'll talk about it, we'll have to approve it.
yeah,
But unless you're in a hurry to do one, we're going to try to get that squared away.
okay,
A new
cool,
form.
perfect.
But
Is
if
that
you
gonna-
are in a hurry, fill another form out.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't know if, like, I know previously when Bob Boudreau had outdoor alcohol for weddings, that it was given to them for a blanket so they could use it for special events or for service. But I was just wondering if I would have to come here for every special event, or if a banquet facility activity would be able to be like, I come to you guys at a meeting and I say, hey, I have an event coming up in 2 weeks. I'm just letting you know that I'm going to be issuing the outdoor seating again for this day. Or if you wanted to like have me fill out a form every time and ask for a letter
That's
every
what we want
time.
to talk about. At
Okay.
what level do you have to come to us? If it's a wedding, I'm speaking for Zachary now.
Yeah,
If it's a wedding, if it's a shower, if it's some small event,
yeah,
and what we have to define what small is.
right.
If there's 1,000 people coming, that's a special event. So we want to be able to define that on our form to make it a little easier for you folks,
Okay.
that you don't have to come for,
I would have to come here for a letter for the liquor commission, regardless, to have it outside, no matter the size.
it's my understanding, unless when you're done with your site plan review,
Yeah,
that's permitted, in which case you don't have to come for that.
I would, the liquor commission needs it.
For outside,
Yes, that's why I keep coming here. I need a selectman signed letter for the liquor commission for our extended area of service application.
even if
It's
it's,
already been submitted and they're waiting on a response from you guys, and that's what the permit of assembly for outside is that I handed in with the Halloween application. Because I can only service 40 people out there. But that wouldn't be in addition to the people that we can serve with our food license. So it still would be the 48 that Bob ran with.
so, you have to help me now. At the planning board, you're going to ask for what? Don't answer me now, but you're going to ask for more, right?
Right.
And once that's approved at a site plan review, I'm assuming that's permanent. You saying I'm wrong? That's not permanent?
The liquor, it would be permanent, but I would still need to come to you and grab a letter,
Once.
depending on how you write the language.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, on the same page.
I would assume.
So that's
see,
why I was
once-
saying,
Once it's approved,
You know, we could just do like an indefinite letter or something like that.
if it's
Right.
consistent with the site plan review,
Yeah, exactly.
okay,
that's what I would assume.
Yeah.
The whole idea of the site plan review is that it gives you all the answers to the questions you would ask on a special event.
okay, yeah,
I'm assuming, when I say
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so once we've done the site plan review and it's approved, all those questions are answered, and I wouldn't think a permit would be required either, once it's authorized.
But the liquor condition would need a letter saying, this is
Yeah.
what we were authorizing in the town.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. That I
Yeah,
understand.
because it can be like a one-day thing, or it can be, all year, or annual, or something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if it's annual, but you can do one or indefinite, I believe. And then, just for clarification, I know last night at the planning board meeting that they did do a motion to extend after Monday's meeting, they agreed that they would be okay with extending the period of the cease letter.
They didn't vote on that. That wasn't a motion that was made and passed.
Okay. Is that something that you guys would be willing to consider?
What we said was, at the meeting last night, if we get a good faith effort from you folks on Monday,
Yeah.
because this is our third try,
So
Then-
it wasn't until the June 10th meeting that it was solidified that we needed a site plan. That was when it
Okay,
all
so-
came down to that,
all
because
right, here we
previous
go.
to
It
that.
must be in the water. So so there was two. So if we get a good, if the planning, I'm a member of the planning board, that's not a planning board meeting. I think if the planning board hears that you're getting a good faith effort, they will write a letter to the board asking us to reconsider the November 1st date.
Okay,
It's
and
up-
then, that's fine, that's really fine, I was just asking for clarification with you guys, because I knew you guys would have to approve it after the planning board. After all of that happens, and if that does happen, I go on Monday, which I am, I'll see Rick on Thursday for his office hours here, I'll go to the Monday meeting at 7, and then if that's all approved, would you guys, I think that's what Steve was trying to ask earlier, would you rewrite the letter? I know, it was caught in a blip, but Would you be able to rewrite that letter and send it out with us with the
We-
notice of the extension?
We would consider it.
Right, if that was to happen, if we could get another letter, if that was to happen after Monday's meeting.
We would consider it. I'm not going to commit to it right now. We'll see what happens on Monday.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay,
Well,
so
thanks,
now we
guys.
can go to our folder of other items. We did the contract. We have to get back to the Drew Farm HOA people.
Yes.
Would you tell them we approved that? We approved that at our meeting, right? We approved.
We didn't have the final signatures.
But we do now.
What we do now, so we can, now that we have them, we can make a motion to approve it, or just go on what we did last.
Well, we said we were going to get them, and we got them.
We got 'em. So I'll make a motion, we approve the Drew Farm Spectacular special one.
Okay, just second time we're doing that, but that's okay. You second that?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We did that on an earlier meeting, so you'll take care of that. Okay, we got a letter, a note, we got a contract. We've got a contract from the Newfound Title Service Company, and the note on it is Selectmen approve this contract for services of Newfound Title Abstractors for 2025. There are no changes from the 2024 contract. The contract is only for research, for the research fee of $18.50 for each property that we will potentially lien or deed in 2025. This cost is recovered by fees placed on the property. So that's from the tax collector. So it's a contract to do title searches on who owns the property. And what happens here is, if we're going to lien or take property, we have to notify all interested parties, which could be a mortgage company, or any other property that might have a lien on the property in addition to the town. And what these folks do is they do a title search on these properties to make sure we notify everybody that there's no lien or we're going to take the property. So that's what this is all about. So.
And the contract is the same, so so the contract is the same, so.
Yeah.
All right, that's good, so.
So I'll make a motion, we approve this contract.
I'll second.
All in favor?
What's the amount of the contract? Or is it per?
Per meter, it's
1885.
$18.50 per property, $18.50 per property that the tax collector asked to have investigated. So, a short list, 20 people maybe, 20 properties at least.
Just wanted to hear the value.
All right. Okay, we've got a contract for assessing. The contract that we had for the past 5 years with Ralph Wood is up. I sent you draft copies of this.
There's 2 copies there, by the way.
Yes. We signed one, it goes back to Rod, he sends it to DRA for their approval after we approve it.
I read through the draft you sent, I didn't have any problems with
Yeah, it's the same one, you know.
Yeah, the numbers have changed a little now the annual cyclical 5-year event is $38,000, was $33,000 in the last contract, $32,000. And the price per doing a pickup is now, there's 2 different numbers, but the higher number is $40 a pickup. And what that means is if you have a building permit and we have to go out and look at it, or we're going to, let's put a period there. We're also required to make sure all the properties in town are current with respect to property value. So he goes out and checks all the properties before we do the assessment.
Mm-hmm.
We've elected to do 25% of the properties a year. So in 4 years, all the properties have been looked at.
Yep.
That event costs $40 a property also. We've got 600 properties. That's 150 properties times 40. You can do the math. What I'm doing is the budget right now. You can do the math. His office hours are $75 an hour. He's here for 3 hours, 4 hours a month. So it's about a $10,000 a year contract.
I think it's fine, I'll make a motion, we accept the contract as presented.
I realize that this is under your purview to approve or disapprove of the assessor, the contract. Would it be possible to take input? Or is that something you would not want to do?
There are 2 companies that do this in the area.
Yeah, I'm aware.
One is Avatar, which we had experience with, and we switched about 5 or 6 years ago because we had experience with them. And we went to Rod Wood. There's not many more to pick from.
Well, I'm just asking the question because I'm not happy with him. I think he doesn't do a very good job. And I'm just curious if other people in town would have a different opinion in if it would be worth public input or not.
We're always willing to take public input.
Yeah, I understand that, but like there's a lot of decisions made with a public hearing. And I'm not saying that that's what you should do. I'm just asking if, I know this is your decision to make, but would you consider that in a case like this? Because it does greatly affect every person in the town. The assessor does. And from what I can tell, my own research, the way he does it as opposed to other, we'll use Avatar for an example, is wildly different. And so just, I guess it's my public input to not want to use Rodwood, but if that holds any weight.
Does Wakefield have their own assessor?
They use Rodwood.
Oh, they use Rod.
He does 18 communities.
Oh, wow.
I can report that OSPI uses Avatar.
Don't you know what was that? I didn't.
They use Avatar, OSPI.
Okay.
Any input?
I don't, this is a bit of a surprise to me in the sense that I'm not hearing that kind of feedback from a lot of other people. So I don't, in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking, how widespread is this? I mean, is this an individual case and you have very specific reasons, or is there a broad concern throughout the town that says, hey, we don't like the way he does his job?
I'm not sure either. That's why I'm just asking, because I don't know how many people pay attention to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't. You could put this out for a public hearing and get no one show up. I'm fully aware of that. That's probably what would happen. But
Well, after this townwide assessment, he had about 30 interviews. 30 out of 600 taxable
yeah,
properties.
so very few.
Is it possible they have, more people might complain once they get their tax bill though?
That's because, maybe, but they don't understand, it's the assessment that matters.
I know
Yeah,
that, I know that, but
We're gonna get a lot of complaints when the tax bills go out from some people, and other people are gonna be delighted.
So what's your concern? Like,
The way he assesses things. And I met with him to discuss it, and it went from questioning things to really a dislike towards him because of his arrogance.
no, he okay.
But specifically, I pay more money in taxes than people do that live on the lake.
Yeah.
And that's not the case in any other town anywhere. Lakefront property is taxed at a premium.
Yeah.
And it's not here. And it's not taxed in a normal way. It's, in his words, however he feels like it should be taxed. Not based on lake frontage, like if you have 100 feet of lake frontage, that really should, translate to a number that is evenly distributed around the lake. I mean, his answer to me was it's not, because if he doesn't think that this person's lake frontage is as nice as that one, then he's gonna not charge as much for it. But I mean, it's easy to do. It's easy to look at all the towns around and see how much they charge for lake frontage and how much they charge for different things. But
See, when we had Avatar, we went through that route with respect to lake frontage. And all the lake frontage wasn't equal, even in Avatar's perspective, because some property is tucked in coves. And yet, and he said the market value of this property in the cove is not the same as the market value of the person that's looking across the whole broad lake. So it does vary by location on the lake.
I think the main thing, in my opinion, is to be consistent in how you apply it. Right, wrong, or indifferent. As long as you're consistent across the board, it's not, it's equalized, not in the sense of tax assessing, but it's comparable for everybody. You know?
consistently wrong, though, would be a problem, right?
Not really. As long as it's consistent, if everybody's 10% low, that's fine, as long as you're consistent, because it's a ratio, and if the ratio is consistent, we're okay.
The process, if you don't agree with the assessor, is to go to the BTLA, fill out the application that you want to go and have it reviewed, and go through them, and they'll have a hearing, and he will have to show up and explain why he came up with that assessment.
Well, the first step is to ask for a meeting with him, right?
But I thought that already happened.
Yes.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if he's not satisfied, he should just, and that's the process. It's fair to everybody. It happens in every town. It happened in Ossipee. Many people didn't agree with the way the taxes were done on their property and went to the BTLA.
And personal, I've done that. And BTLA is going to say to you, show me the assessment of your property and equivalent property in town. And as long as it's consistent, they're going to dismiss it. I had an experience, I went through it. It's what's the assessed value and is it consistent with other people, equivalent houses. But you're more welcome to do it. I mean, it's
I guess my concern is that it's the way the property in this town is assessed is wildly different than other towns because of the lakefront situation. I mean, I just can't see how a house with 150 feet of lake frontage, no matter what even just the land, how that number could be so low in his assessment. And to your point, it's consistent. He's consistent with it in undervaluing, but you know.
I mean, it's public information.
Yeah, no, that's right.
And if you look at a lakefront piece of property, you'll see 2 acres taken out, which is equal to the same value of 2 acres to everybody else. You'll see the house value coming out, and if you look at house values, I think the houses are assessed fairly. So that's on the property card. And then he has a lakefront adder, and that's what the state wants him to do. And that runs up to $500,000 per lot. So you put 500 on top of 90 and on top of the house, that's generally over $1 million.
But he's not doing that, or he wasn't doing that.
I'm looking at this last assessment, that's where they came out.
Well, I don't have that information from the last, when they went through that. The only thing I have is the public information that's available to me, which has the last tax bill.
We can get it for you. We can run that report, show you the assessed value of all the property in town.
Okay.
What happened in Ossipee about a year ago is the BTLA was informed there was an issue with the way taxes were being assessed, and the hearing got to the point where the town was ordered to redo it. And because there was a lot of errors, so there's always a process, and if that doesn't work, you go to court. That's it. I wouldn't stand for it if you're questioning it. But they found a lot of errors. And now they have Avatar, and Avatar is...
Who they had before, do you know? Don't have to mention it,
I
don't
can't
do
remember.
it.
But I don't think that assessor was the reason, but it was part of it. There was something else going on.
Well, you know, what happens is the state comes in and pulls 30 cards from this last assessment and checks the assessor's work. Random cards. This is the assessment. They go out and look at the property, see if it was done fairly.
Did they do that?
Yeah. That's part of the certification process.
Correct, but that's a different, it's a different way of doing it if somebody's complaining about it.
Oh, they're checking the quality of the work of the assessing company.
Regardless of any.
Correct, that doesn't mean that there's not errors. It's just
Hey, absolutely
just
correct.
what they looked at.
There always can be errors. You're absolutely right. And whenever there's an error, they get them corrected. That's all you can do.
Well, down in Concord, we tried to put bills in to make it so services would also have to go out to bid, and because assessing is a service, you don't have to. You could go out to bid, but like you said, there's a limited amount of people to pull from. But, you know, it seems like a limited way we're choosing assessors, just because there's two and...
We went out for lower bids, I think it was 5 years ago, when we switched from Avatar. Because we weren't happy with the way Avatar was doing it. And we got, I forget the companies that responded. And then we asked around in the neighboring towns, and people liked his work, that had a big bearing on it.
I'm just saying there's a process, that's all.
Yep. And I owe you a list. I'll get you a list. Okay. So I think we should move on with this contract though.
Yeah, I'll make that motion when you adopt the contract as run.
So for budgeting purposes, what would I put in for the new contract for next year? Because you read a couple of different figures.
The number's going to be $10,000 out of operating.
Okay.
But then we're going to have a warrant article to put money away for the cyclical.
Okay. So 10,000 for Rod Wood's contract for next year? Okay.
That's a good place to go.
You got to split it out of the office. I'll show you when we get to it.
Okay.
You do second it?
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll sign this.
What was the cost of the contract again?
$40 per property.
Okay,
The cyclical is $38,000
okay.
to be done over the next 5 years. This year we waited 5 years and there was large increases in assessed value. Some towns have done it more frequently, so you don't get those large increases in assessed value.
Got it. Just wanted to hear the value. Thank you.
All right, now we have some,
So this is going to be signed by you guys too. That's the one for the spectacular. I signed it already.
okay,
Which is probably to be signed by.
okay. We have some current use taxes that we have to vote on, some warrant articles here. The warrant articles, warrants. Let's see, what do you want to do here? Let's see, the first one is map 10, lot 18. If you're really interested, we can look it up. And it's for $1,200. These are people that have taken property out of current use. That's one. We've got one. We have to sign these in multiple places. We've got one from map 15, lot 2B, and that tax bill is $6,500. And we've got one for lot 15-2.
that is for $2,600. And we have one for, that goes on with that one. For lots, map 7, lot 7, and that one is for $5,750. So I'll make a motion that we give to the tax collector for collection these current use change taxes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we have to sign them in 2 places, Leah. I'd like you to give the originals to the tax collector, and a copy to Joanne, and a copy to the assessing office.
Okay.
Thank you. And we've got a lot of, oh yeah, this is an interesting thing. The state has changed, I'll read this from Molly. Effective September 1st, 2024, the definition of an abutter has changed. An abutter means any person whose property is located, because you're going to make a list of abutters. Any person whose property is located in New Hampshire and adjoins or is directly across the street or stream from the land under consideration by the local land use board. Directly across the street or stream shall determine by lines drawn perpendicular to all corners, boundaries along the street, stream, and any property that lies along the street or within 50 feet is considered a butter. So now it's 50 feet. The way I read this, around the property. It used to be you had to touch the property.
Mhm.
Now it's within 50 feet of the property. And this is effective immediately, effective September 1st, 2024. That impacts the abutter list.
I come to the town office for an abutters list, correct? Yeah. No?
That would mean the abutters list may have to be gone over and make sure that nobody is falling in that parameters, correct?
So the way people get the abutters list is they take a look at your property on the property cards, and you find the people that go around it, and then you look up the property cards.
Okay.
If
Is
that
there
doesn't,
someone in town that can help me with that?
if that doesn't work, you can go to our town website under GI, under interactive tax maps, and ask for the computer system to give you a list of all the abutters. And in that process, you specify how many feet you want to go out. So you can get that printout and it'll give you all the address labels.
I think that variable on the computer addresses your concern, right? Do you have to revise the program for GIS, or if it's a variable 50 feet, will it be compliant with new law?
It's one of the parameters you put in when you do the query.
So the answer would be yes.
So when you put the query in, I would put in 51 feet. But that comes out of our computer systems.
Okay.
Under,
Can I have help from someone in the town? Thank you.
yes, we'll do it Thursday morning.
Perfect, I'll be here.
How early Thursday morning would you like her here?
Well, I don't know what time she's coming. They're meeting with the planning board. The planning board meets on Thursday morning. Not the board itself, but a couple of members.
Just making sure it's not,
But does she need the list before she meets with the planning board?
I do.
Pardon me?
She needs the list before she meets with the planning board, right?
She
Well,
needs-
on Thursday, it's just a meeting with Rick, so he can make sure that I have all the guidelines filled out correctly.
okay,
Mhm.
he can help you with that.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, guys.
Okay, that was on communications. We have a lot of invoices, well, not invoices, we have a lot of bank statements we have to review. We can do those later. And do we have any bills?
We do.
I said we should do that early so you can leave. We didn't even do budget yet.
Oh, wait until next month.
All right,
I mean, I have some ready, but we don't have a whole lot.
all right.
Wait, okay, ready?
Yep.
Amazon, $61.85, office supplies. CAI Technologies for the web GIS support renewal, $3,000. It's a little bit more than I think we budgeted for. 3,000. That's okay. Next year, it'll be from November 1st of this year to November of next year.
And that's for the interactive tax maps.
I believe so, right?
Yes, what I was just talking about.
Yep. Spectrum, $99.98. Easton Materials for, I believe it was gravel, $2,600. This will be coming out of conservation. It is $396.15 for pasture gates, chain, locks, and keys.
It's going to me, and I put it on my credit card, pick up those supplies. It's for the pasture gate we put down at the Hackensack.
It's coming out of conservation.
Yes.
Their fund, yep. Governor Wentworth Regional School District, $94,197. Karen Savasik for postage, $28.42. Kindle Construction, I have two, $1,405 and $5,780.
The total on that is $7,100.
Leah Gage for mailing certified letter, $9.68. Mitchell Municipal Group, $432.88. State of New Hampshire Vital Records invoice, $34. Porter Office Machines, $79.38, which was for overages, I believe. Yes, overage charge. Okay, that is it.
Total on that manifest is $108,124.34. I'll make a motion to accept the manifest as presented.
Can you read the number one more time? I missed the last.
$108,124.34.
Name.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any checks?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for us then?
No.
Any other input?
Yes. Do you ever approve, I never hear you approving payroll as often as I hear it in other towns. Why is that? In other towns during the manifesto report, they mentioned their accounts payable and payroll.
Yeah, we signed off on it, but we don't
We
read it. You just wanted the bottom line number read, or what are you looking for?
Well, usually the total accounts payable would include the taxes and the payroll together, all together. I just never hear that number.
Okay, we'll start doing that.
Yeah, we pay once a month, so we always pay by the first, around the first or the second when we can get their signatures, but it's for the, for the month before.
Just curious.
A lot of the times we're doing payroll and they're not meeting, so we still have to get it signed, But we could read it kind of after the fact.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, but the issue is the time card.
Right.
It's like assessment and taxes. The issue is if the time card's approved, which we approve, then the next step is you get paid.
You have to be paid, yeah.
You don't want us to read all the time cards.
No.
Oh,
Well, maybe you could.
Okay, anything else? Okay, we're gonna sign this stuff, meeting's adjourned, thank you.
You're not doing budget tonight?
Nope.
No,
Okay, sad.
I mean,
No,
We're good.
do you want this timber?
So these are the changes that we done.
Yeah, I'll keep it in my file.
The original.
All the other stuff we've got, so.
That's important. And one copy to the assessor.
Assessor, that's, thank you.
these in here to be signed. So why don't we give these to, you signed some?
Sign that, and sign the ledger.
Okay, you got two of these signatures.
Yes.
We still need, I'll give this to Brian and I'll go through my favorite son. Cool. You wanna put that in there?
I'm gonna take a copy of that Stratford Regional Planning.
It's on you. Yeah, that's on
Oh,
you.
it's for us, it's not for,
No, that's what I'm saying, like, that's my copy, but you,
oh, I just wanted the price.
it's all you.
Take the whole thing as for budget.
Oh, okay,
That's what you're saying?
Exactly.
yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more. Oh, yeah, all these two addition. You, Leah, you got the meeting minutes signed, right?
Yes.
Yes. You missed one.
I should have asked you how we're doing with money, because this is the time,
I know, I'm getting a little worried.
this is the time of the year we get a little worried.
Yeah, I'm getting a little worried, I just had to take some money out of the investment account, and the rates are dropping on the investment,
Down to 5%,
less than 4.9 something.
4.99.
This one.
I get the same bill you get.
Yeah. So,
But this is the time of the year when we run out of money.
I know.
So how are we doing? I didn't
We
ask
have
you.
about 500.
Well, we're not done yet.
No, I know.
We're
I am
gonna,
aware.
we're gonna, you kept telling me we have all this money.
I know, well, we did, we did.
We did. And now it goes. And if the tax rate is set late?
I know, well, we'll be okay, it's just gonna eat away.
That's, it's always this way, it's all, we're good.
But next year, we won't have as much in reserve because
Yeah.
everybody paid their taxes. We had no outstanding tax dollars.
Do we still have outstanding?
We do, yeah, we do.
Everybody paid up?
70,000. Usually we carry 180. People pay the taxes.
Joanne,
Yes.
no other town has gotten their tax.
No one set their rate, no,
Brian?
because,
I'm saying, speaking.
oh, yeah, because they're waiting on the county.
Yeah, I don't know, saying that it's not. I haven't heard back from Wally.
Yeah,
You don't have.
no, no.
The question is, where are we on the list? She goes down the list.
I know, well, she's been real friendly with me.
Who's on the bottom?
Real nice to me, because I've been having to deal with her in the other town I work in. And she's been real receptive, getting back to me,
She used,
helping me.
we used to know where we were on the list.
Yeah, I don't know where we are on the list. She knows that we're waiting though. I told her I would carry that form with me everywhere I went. And I have it, because we have to go over it together, so.
No matter where you are, what you call it, you food.
I told her I would take her to the bathroom with me. To that.
Yeah, but you gotta bring your phone with you too.
That's right, that's right.
Okay, is your business done? Other than signing?
Yeah, we're gonna just keep signing.
Okay. No talking. 7:09.
Take that.